And welcome to the 1348 strategy. Now, let's go ahead and set expectations here. You're just getting started. So, you're going to get baseline knowledge, which is then supported each and every morning at 10 a.m. and once again at 2 p.m. via live streams. What we want to do is drive home the concepts to make you a better, smarter trader. Now, what the expectations of you right now? What do I expect of you? Well, I expect you to have a paper trading account with Webull and or Investopedia. And what this is going to do is help you build habits in trading with the strategy. Our rules are simple, but our rules yield massive results. And you hear people saying it in the Discord, follow the rules, but you're brand new. You just signed up. So, what the hell are the rules? Well, let's get right into it. Now, what we're going to do is go on over to the spy. And I want to drill this home. We do not trade unless the cross happens before our eyes, and we tend to wait until 10 a.m. when the market settles, where the buyers and the sellers battle it out until we find a direction. Okay, so we have the spy here on the 1 minute, which we do not play, or at least as a beginner, you will not play. And that is more for a rim job video. But for the 1348 crossover video, each and every morning, you want to go to the daily and confirm the trend. And as you could see, the daily is telling you that the SPY is in a downward trend. And if we could zoom out and we could see that the SPY has been in a downward trend since January 3rd, January 2nd. Good, because you do not want to bet against the market, especially when playing the SPY. Guys, this applies to every ticker out there. We can look at NVIDIA, which is a favorite among the Discord, and you could see the overall trend is to the downside. Make sure that your trades are not going against the trend because you will get hurt. So, whether you're playing a certain stock or you are playing the SPY, always go to the daily first. From there, what you want to do is get an idea of where the most immediate trend is. And this is where we resort to the 4 hour. So, as you go ahead and create yourself a bucket of stocks, right? I would recommend a bucket of about 5 stocks, especially if you're beginning, to learn how these stocks move and again, to familiarize yourself with the system. But give yourself 5 stocks for you to follow along and again, build good habits as you trade with the system. But we have it here on the 4 hour. The most immediate trend is also to the downside. Now, the 4 hour presents a teaching moment because the rules to puts, whether you are on the 4 hour, the 30 minute, the 5 minute, the 3 minute, the 2 minute, or the 1 minute, the rule is this, and we're going to go back to the 4 hour. When price action is below the 200 EMA, mind you, it does not matter what time frame you're on, you are biased to this put signal. What I mean is, if you see price action is below the 200 EMA, you are looking for puts more so than you are looking for calls. Why? Because when price is below the 200 EMA, that's confirmation that it's in a downward trend. And we could look at other indicators here that confirm this for us. So, rule number one, price action below the 200 EMA. Rule number two, RSI needs to be below 50. And as you can see here, RSI found its way below 50 here at 38.15 when this put was signaled. That is rule number two. For puts, you want to see it below 50, period. That there's no exception. Also, you then want to see the MACD clue you in as to what the trend is and how powerful the trend is. And let me show you. You see the pink here? That's telling you that the trend is weakening, and you could see that as we have some green candles popping up until it was rejected. But you could see that pink here is signaling a loss of momentum before we began to start seeing deeper reds. And we also see that the MACD is below its signal line. And this is rule number three. The MACD needs to be below its signal line and trending down, along with deeper reds printing on the histogram. We also want to see confirmation from the shaft trend cycle. Normally, we would like to see this red dot print, and then that would be an extra layer of confirmation to what the MACD is doing. Now, once we are in the play, we're looking to see what the shaft trend is doing because the shaft trend will confirm that the sellers in this case are in control by staying in the red zone down here. Okay. So the rules for the puts: price below 200 EMA, RSI below 50, MACD below its signal line, trending down, and we're printing solid red candle bars. We also use the STC as an additional confirmation to where the trend is going. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the basics of playing the puts. Now, what about calls? Well, we haven't had a lot of calls as of recently, but we do have Redbox, and Redbox has been on a tear today. So, how do we play the calls? Well, the rules are also very simple. When a call is signaled, price needs to be above the 200 EMA, which you see here, this yellow line, RSI above 50, and this checks out. Again, when this call was printed, RSI was at 61.69. We see the MACD line above its signal line with green bars printing on its histogram. And then we got an extra level of confirmation here with the STC. Again, this works on all time frames. These are the rules for all time frames. We could go ahead and look at what Redbox was doing on the 1 minute, and you could see it follows the rules to a T. There's no value to this put here because price is above the 200 EMA. So we are blind to puts. We're looking for calls. All right. So we get the call signal. Where is RSI? RSI is above 50. This checks out. Next up, we look at the MACD line. Did it cross above its signal line? Yes. As you can see here, right here, the cross was beginning. The MACD line, which is blue, crossed at 0.00, and the signal line crossed at 0.00. This is bullish. And then you begin to see the separation, or what we call thigh gap. You'll learn the terminology soon enough. But what's happening here is the MACD line is in an upward trend. We have the histogram in the MACD printing green. We then have the buy signal here on the STC, again acting as an additional layer. And then guess what? She moves. Now, we're looking at the RSI here. We could see It was elevated. A lot of you would look at this at 77 and say she's overbought, and you would expect some selling, which did happen. But it's the RSI, along with its moving average, has maintained above 50, which gives us confidence in the move all the way up until it crosses below its moving average and significantly below its moving average. And we could see here, this was a significant downtrend, the RSI coming as low as 47.39. Now, you guys get the basics of a call and a put signal, and that is the point of this video, understanding the rules as it applies to the 1348 crossover strategy. Okay, so for calls, let's recap. You want price above the yellow line, 200 EMA. You want RSI above 50. You want MACD printing green bars on the histogram and trending upwards. You also want confirmation from the shaft trend cycle. And that is your rule, or the rules, or a collection of rules that keeps the trading strategy super simple. We don't have to overcomplicate it. Now, through this curriculum, we are going to show you some advanced strategies, more importantly, how to use the RSI for entry and exit. But you need to know the rules and you need to start practicing. And we do this with a paper trading account. I do not want any of you, at least for the next week or two, to trade with live money. Investopedia and Webull gives you the opportunity to trade options, and you will trade options with funny money. Save your real money for when you have a concrete understanding of the system. Now, each and every morning, we're going to be driving this point home because we live stream, as I said, between 10 and 11 a.m. and then 2 to 3 p.m. But this is as simple as it gets. We look for a call where when the 13 crosses above the 48, we also look to see that the candles are above the 200 EMA, RSI above 50, MACD printing green, and MACD crossing above a signal line and trending upward, and the shaft trend giving us that confirmation. For puts, again, let's recap. And then I'm going to conclude this video. Okay. And I know this sounds redundant, but I need to brainwash you. Let's go ahead and look at the SPY once again to concrete the put side rules. And the put side rules, again, are very simple. Let's go to the 5 minute. We do not take the cross, or excuse me, we do not play anything unless the cross happens before our eyes on the 5 minute. But the rules of operation are, if you see a call, but the price is below the 200 EMA, we ignore that altogether. If we see a put, that's what we're looking for because the price is below the 200 EMA. Next up, we want confirmation that the RSI is below 50. We're printing red on the histogram. The MACD is crossing below its signal line, the blue, below the orange line, and that the shaft trend agrees with everything as well. This would be your basics. This is where you start. This is how we trade. There are no exceptions. We do not go against the trend. We go with the trend and we follow the rules always. This concludes your introduction to the strategy.